Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to
Live at 5.
It's Live at 5, and it's brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, FWHlegal.com. And now, your host for Live at 5, Stephen A. Turner.
What's up, and welcome to Live at 5 on a Thoroughbred Thursday, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree. Your problem is our passion. That's FWHlegal.com. I'm Stephen A. Turner. I'll be joined a little bit later by Coach Vic Evans. He'll join me in segment 2. Also, got Travis Holtree coming in segment 2 in just a little bit for our Be the Change Volunteer Owensboro segment. We'll also be joined by Rosemary Conder from CASA, a nonprofit segment every Thursday here on Live at 5. We got a little LA 5 with 5 big questions a little later on. I got my hair cut yesterday. If you missed that, I've been texted by everybody that I know about who I look like. So we'll steal some Dan Levitard thunder and tell everybody who everybody thinks I look like now that I've had my hair cut a little later on in the program. But it is Thoroughbred Thursday today, so we got the Thoroughbreds in studio, Coach Anderson and Matt Hart joining us, point guard of the Thoroughbreds. How you guys doing this afternoon?
Good. Thanks for having us in.
Yeah, I always love having the Thoroughbreds in on Thoroughbred Thursday. And I got to start, Coach Anderson. Happy anniversary, man.
Thank you, Stephen A. It's 32 years that I've been married to my wife, Maureen. She's back in the Cleveland area. She could be listening.
She could be.
But I wanted to, just say happy anniversary. This is the first one we've ever been apart. So
wow,
a little tough today on that respect.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure. 32 years, first one you've ever been apart. That's tough. No wonder. Yeah, I would assume it would be tough. And big shout out to her for putting up with you for 32 years, right?
Yes, thank you.
She's a real MVP today, right?
Right, she is.
Absolutely. And the coach's wife, I mean, that's the toughest job on the market, I think, probably. So a big shout out to her today.
Thank you.
Yeah, and guys, man, you guys coming off a big road trip, open the season. And we talked about this last week as you guys open the season in Dayton with a victory, 128-121. And, if the local public's out there listening, you hear that number there, 128 on the board in a W, which tells you a lot of action, a lot of points. It's NBA-level basketball. Talk about the trip up to Dayton.
Well, it was good. Like I was telling the guys during the week, I was really glad that we got Kokomo in there in the preseason game because it showed some things we needed to work on. We got off to a good start on Saturday, jumped out 7-0 right away, and then everything kind of settled down. What we can't do is get into a game with our opponent and play their style. We need to play our style. Once we do that, we're pretty sound. Now, again, we had to come back. We were down 9 in the fourth quarter, but I think we stay with the same 5 guys the whole fourth quarter?
Yeah, all 12 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, all 12 minutes. So that may have come back to bite us Sunday because it was an early game. But the thing is that I was really proud of these guys and how professional they were, the guys on the bench, some of the starters that weren't in the fourth quarter. But I'll let Matt talk a little bit about this since he was in on that.
Yeah, how were the legs, and being able to mesh with the guys in the first regular season game, how'd that go?
Yeah, so it's a little tough the first game because most of these guys haven't played together, and, we got a kind of a new group this year, so it takes time to get that flow together. And I think in the first half of the Dayton game, we had some spurts where we were good, but we also had some spurts where we were like, all right, what's going on? And that's kind of why we went down a little bit in the third quarter into the fourth, but we definitely figured it out, and, we took control of the game from the fourth quarter on.
Yeah, and figured it out. 40 points, is that correct? I mean, I was looking for stats for this one. They're missing in action, but I hear you had 40 points in this game.
30.
30. Okay. So
I'll take 40, though. There's no stats.
You should have just went with it.
Yeah,
said, 40. I dropped it. It was no big deal. But that's a good opener, and as the point guard, I got to watch a YouTube clip with you from when you were in Jamestown talking about facilitating, and you always look to score first at this level.
Yeah.
But you always want to facilitate, too. There's how difficult is it to find that happy medium, especially with the group of new guys?
Yeah, so my style of play is, I'm ultra aggressive on offense and defense. And offensively, yes, I'm trying to score because that's just my nature. But as the point guard, if you're just looking to score the whole game, then your teammates aren't going to be happy, and unhappy teammates just lead to everything blowing up. So, when I get into a new situation, I always ask guys, where do you like the ball? Where do you like to score? All that stuff. And then that way I know and I can see. And then in game action, I say, okay, he likes the ball there. He can score from there. I'm going to get him, And then when he's hot, and especially in the pro game, if a guy's hot, you just go to him until he misses. And then, you move on from there.
And I could see a nod of approval from Coach over here that, facilitating as the point guard. It always starts with the point guard, I feel like. If you don't have a true point guard that can facilitate no matter what level of basketball you're at, I think it really starts and ends at the point guard spot as the leadership on the floor. What do you think, Coach?
That's true. With Matt and then also Darius Nunn, who is his backup, the level of play between our point guard position is phenomenal. The way they both see the court. I like Matt's veteran leadership. When I was in Jamestown in the fall, that's where I met Matt and started a good relationship, and we kept in touch throughout the year. And then when he became a free agent, Chris made a phone call.
There it is.
Talked to him, and then I talked to him, and then, well, guess what? He's here. So it was a good thing. So in that respect, and I wanted, like I said before in the past shows, I wanted some veteran leadership here, and I definitely got it with Matt.
Yeah, and underlying theme, every interview that we do, it comes back to the ownership, right? Chris Allison does a tremendous job, and we'll talk more about that later. But you talk about getting Matt over here. We had a conversation before we went on the air. I remember before we got into the TBL, you were playing up in Rochester. You came down here to the Sports Center and torched us. I mean, I remember thinking, get the ball out of this Hart kid's hands. He's killing us. And then you might have dropped 40. That's what I had in my mind that night. But tell the listeners, from Orchard Park, New York, down here in Kentucky playing ball. But did you ever think, man, as a kid, that basketball would take you, George Washington University, Ireland, now here to Kentucky? I mean, you've been all over the map. It's been a pretty cool run for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, and and I still have to pinch myself every day that I get paid to play a game, play a kid's game, basketball, and it's such an amazing experience, and it's taken me all over the world. In college we did a foreign tour to Japan, so we spent 2 weeks in Japan. I've been to Ireland, I've been to Europe. Obviously I've been here in the U.S. I've been to Kentucky, never been to Kentucky before this, so everything's a new experience, and just to do what I love while I'm traveling the world's amazing.
Yeah, and take us back. We cover a lot of high school, a lot of college with Kentucky Wesley. Your high school days going over to George Washington. Just take us through your journey a little bit and let the listeners know a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm from Orchard Park, New York. I went to Canisius High School, which is in downtown Buffalo. So it's like 20 minutes from my house.
Big Buffalo Bills fan?
Oh, unbelievably
awesome.
Huge Buffalo Bills fan.
You fit in well with some folks around here. Our good friend Tyler Dixon's a huge Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah, I'm a diehard. I'm definitely Bills Mafia.
There you go. Did you jump through any tables in your lifetime?
I personally don't jump through tables, but
that's good. I'm sure your coach would like that.
Yes.
Even in the off season, stay away from the flaming tables.
Exactly.
Right.
So high school, I was always the kid who was very talented but very small. So in senior year high school, I was only like 5'10", 5'11", 150 pounds. So I wasn't getting a lot of interest Division I schools. So I went Division III out of high school, played really well, grew. Now I'm 6'2", 180. Then I transferred to Division I, ended up at George Washington for my last 2 years of college. The college process for me was tough because I went from Division III to Division I, and the style of play is very different. Guys are just so much more athletic, bigger, and everything. So that really opened my eyes. And then, going to the pro game even opened my eyes even more.
Yeah, when did you know, like when you're at George Washington, when did you know you wanted to take that next step and play at the next level?
Yeah. So I think I've always wanted to at least try and play professional, but after I did some good things at George Washington and showed I could play at a high level, I think I can do this, and I might as well try, because I'm not going to be able to try when I'm 40 and 50, so I got to do it now.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed when I was watching that clip on YouTube, whether you were breaking down film, there was a guy in the comments that said, "Man, I'm a big fan of Matt's in Ireland." And that's pretty cool. I mean, a big fan from Ireland checking your stuff out here in the States.
Yep.
I mean, that's got to be pretty cool.
It's cool because, and I have a pretty big social media following, and I get messages from kids all over the world. I was just talking to a kid in France, and I had to use Google Translate because I didn't know what he was saying in French. But it's cool because kids just, they want to talk basketball, and I could talk basketball until the day I die. So it's amazing. That's
tremendous. I mean, the community's you got a great point guard here, obviously very well spoken. You come out now to the TBL where you played in Jamestown. Talk about your career a little bit in the TBL and how things have been going for you there.
So I really love what the TBL is doing because, it's giving guys like me a good opportunity to not only play professionally, but go to that next level in Europe and start getting, paid really well to play basketball. Obviously we're getting paid here, but some guys can make 20, 30,000 a month over in Europe.
Absolutely.
And this league affords you that opportunity to get seen, to get film, get stats against high quality players. And I'm 27 now, and I'm still chasing the dream. The dream's not dead, and this league gives guys like me that opportunity.
Absolutely, and that I don't think the community has fully wrapped their minds or even seen the level of talent that they're about to see tomorrow night in the Sports Center with you guys, and then of course on Sunday too. But I'm really looking forward to trying to help introduce the community more to you guys, because just in a little bit that I've seen of the TBL and the level of competition that it is, I mean, it's NBA level basketball. And I think they'll learn that pretty quick. You just come out to one game and you can see the scores. All you got to do is just go on the TBL website, look at the scores across the league and the box scores. They're NBA level box scores, and you'll be very entertained by the product. And still looking forward to, hopefully, you got that stroke still left over from the Sports Center when I seen you a couple years ago. I don't have any doubt we'll be in good shape and facilitating the basketball to all of our big weapons. Yeah. Let's go back and talk about the Columbus game a little bit. You guys fell just short in that game by one. Had an opportunity to win late. Is that correct?
Yes. Again, in the fourth quarter, we were down 9 or 10. Went with the smaller lineup. They brought us back. We had the ball twice in the last 30 seconds. We had the ball with 6 seconds to go. Got a good look. It just rimmed out. Now, I will tell you that they shot 35 free throws to our 12.
Yeah. You always look at that stat line.
You look at that.
Especially on the road.
The road, yes, you look at that. Now, I'm not saying that played a part, but we only lost by 1, and we only made 10 of 12 free throws. So that 17-point disparity right there, that could play into it. But again, we got to handle those things on the road. Yeah. We got to be ready that we're not necessarily going to get every call we want, and that we stay aggressive going to the basket. And then once we keep going to the basket and get what we call lane touches on our breaks or in our offense, and move the ball from side to side and go from there, then we tend to be pretty consistent. And I'll tell you that Chuck Agbato played really well on Sunday. Had double figures. He was at, I think he was 7 of 8 from the floor. Saturday, Meshach Lufile had 21 and 13. So we've got our inside presence that we talked about, and we just got to get those stops. Now, anytime that we go on a run of probably, I'd like to say 3 times in a row down the court without scoring, that's when Matt or Darius has to get them into a set play, get everybody organized, and we go from there and get a good shot. Because at this level, you cannot go run 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times without scoring.
Sure.
Now you're in trouble.
Absolutely. Big runs coming.
Big runs. Yeah, it's a game of runs. And typically at this level, whoever has the last run usually wins.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we've seen in years past. Matt, talk about some of your teammates that you thought stood out on the road trip. I don't want to leave anybody out, but who are the guys that maybe, I know Javion Eves had a tremendous weekend or, run for you guys over last weekend.
Yeah, Javion, I think Javion has some of the most potential I've ever seen in a player, and I don't think he even realizes how good he can be. Because he's just a kid who just goes out there and, he hoops. He just plays basketball. And he's unbelievable. And guarding him in practice every day, he's so strong and he's so quick, and just that mix of strength and quickness, nobody can guard him. So if he's, playing within himself, there's no player in the league that can guard him. So obviously Javion's huge for us. And then, Corey Wilford's one of the best shooters I've ever seen. It's a lot of fun to play with him because I just have to kick it to him and I get an immediate assist. I just had the stats.
I think you had 7 assists in the game that was statted. So, like you say, those easy assists, you kick it over in the corner and you knock down the 3. Looks nice on the stat sheet. Yep. Now, let's go. Let's talk about the home games we got coming up. Obviously, tomorrow night right here on 102.7 The Game. We'll also stream it on the TBL network there where you guys can subscribe and watch all the games for the Thoroughbreds all season long, road or home. And I'll be on a lot of those video broadcasts. I know Vic and Dave and Caleb will have a lot of the games on the radio, and I'll join Ben Hardesty on the video stream when I can. I have dad hats on, daughter's playing softball, I'm all over creation. But nevertheless, I'm going to get to 90% of those games at home on the video stream. But just come out to the Sports Center. It's a much better environment. You get to rally behind these guys and, you really get somebody to root for, I feel like, with a hometown interest. And Owensboro doesn't get these types of things. I mean, for people that complain, we always have to go to Evansville to get this, or Bowling Green gets everything. They got the hot rods, and Evansville's got the hockey team. We got the basketball team.
You got the thoroughbreds,
and that's it. I mean, that's where you need to be. It's a destination, especially on the weekends. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. And every game's got a theme. You guys gonna have different jerseys for every home game.
I believe so.
every night's got a theme night. It's gonna be just like the NBA. They're wearing different jerseys every night. It's bluegrass, bourbon, and barbecue night tomorrow as you guys take on Columbus again. So it'd be an opportunity. You guys hungry for another shot at
We're
them?
ready.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
always ready.
Little smack talk out there. Is it a rivalry already?
I think Columbus forms a rivalry with everyone with the way they talk to the opposing team. But
nice. That's going to be fun. I mean,
it's fun.
Instantly interested. I mean, little smack talk always, and that's why you need the home crowd there.
Yep. Support
to really back you guys up. You need that sixth man in the crowd out there to get after Columbus a little bit. That's at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and then on Sunday, 3 p.m. versus the Detroit Hustle coming into town, and Disabilities Awareness Night. You got right up our alley here on Volunteer Owensboro Thursday. Here you got Puzzle Pieces, Wendell Foster, Dream Riders, Gradsa, and Team Carly represented. And you guys are gonna have puzzle piece jerseys.
Yeah, they're white with puzzle pieces on it. They look pretty cool.
I saw them. You can check it out on the Thoroughbreds Instagram. It looked really, really cool. And the social media game for the Thoroughbreds is on point. I'm just going to say, like, it keeps you updated with everything you need. It looks super clean. I really, really enjoy it. And it'll pale in comparison even to the product on the floor you're going to see this weekend. You ready for the games this weekend, Coach?
We are ready. We had one of the best practices last night that we've had. And we're at practice 12 now. Tonight will be 13. Monday's typically our day off, especially after back-to-back games. We came in Tuesday. We were lethargic, just going through the motions, let's put it that way. And then Wednesday, right from the get-go, my assistant coach, Brad Zellner, was coming in from outside. It takes him a little while to get here, and he was about 10 minutes into practice. He goes, I could hear you guys outside through the brick walls.
Wow.
It was, so the enthusiasm's there. They're ready. They know that we've got a good chance to be really good this year. And I'll say it again, it's a great group of men on and off the court, and they enjoy being around each other. And when you enjoy being around guys that you're going to be spending 3 months with, that makes a difference. It really does. Now, are you going to have some flare-ups? Absolutely. You're going to have flare-ups because you are together all the time.
Sure.
But the thing is that at the end of the day, it's not personal. And the same thing with, kind of like with the rivalry with the Condors out of Columbus. Yeah, there's some talking, but at the end of the game, everybody daps and we go on. And next game up, and I told every one of them, we'll see you Friday.
Don't get too comfortable.
Right.
We'll see you then. And Matt, we'll give you the last word. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Obviously, Thoroughbred Thursday here. Matt Hart, point guard for the Owensboro Thoroughbreds. Coach Mark Anderson here as well. But tell the listeners out there on a Thoroughbred Thursday why they need to come out and support the Thoroughbreds and what they expect to see when they walk in the Sports Center tomorrow night.
Look, this is high level basketball, and we know it's entertainment too. So it's entertaining. It's high level. We're a team who loves to run. So you're going to see some points. You're going to see some big stops. I mean, it's just fun, and it's fun being out there, and I hope it's fun for the fans too. Yeah,
absolutely. Looking forward to getting all the fans in the Sports Center, guys. Thanks for coming by. We got Wonder Boy Media in the house once again. A big partnership there throughout the season. And good luck tomorrow night. And we'll see you tomorrow at 7.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Matt Hart, point guard for the Thoroughbreds, and Coach Mark Anderson. We'll be right back with a little Be the Change Volunteer Owensboro segment with Rosemary Condor. And then Travis Holtry live at 5, 102.7 The Game.